So I always started off the same. All right. So like, how did you discover wholesaling?
Yeah, so 7 years ago, I was living in Northern Virginia, almost 8 years ago now. And I was doing outside sales. I was traveling around the country, opening up frozen yogurt shops, selling franchises. And that trend was really hot from like 2011 to 2014, and then it died out like almost overnight.
Okay.
And I realized like, hey, this is probably not gonna be around in another 6 months. And additionally, I was coming up to the end of my lease in Northern Virginia. And I decided like, well, what's my options? I can either take another job here in Northern Virginia or move somewhere completely different, get outside of my comfort zone. So I took the latter. I was like, you know what? I was making good money, but as a 23-year-old kid, I was spending it faster than I was making it.
Yeah.
Right? So I had $5,000 in my name, and I said, I want to go to Austin, Texas. So I called an apartment locator, and I said, give me as close to downtown as you can for $1,000 a month.
Oh.
So I put everything in the back of my like beater Mazda 3. All I had was my clothes and an air mattress.
Yeah.
And I drove down, and the apartment locator put me right in the middle of the hood in East Austin. And that's where, I had to start my life over basically as a brand new chapter. I didn't know anybody down here. I didn't have any, connections, no job prospects or anything like that. And so, being in sales, and I was working with business owners, my previous job, and I realized like, the only way to make real money is to own your own business. Like being a 9-to-5 employee is not going to get you to where you want to go. So I had no idea what kind of business I wanted to start. So just through curiosity and education, I started researching a bunch of different businesses, and I came across real estate wholesaling, and it made sense to me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a techie guy. I don't have, a ton of, I didn't have any money at the time, right? And so real estate wholesale, I was like, okay, get a property for this, mark it up, sell it to an investor for that. It was very simple. So I started watching Sean Terry videos. Mm-hmm. He was the main player at the time, and started spending. I only had $5,000, and I was spending it on bills, and then also like spending it on postage to handwrite letters on the kitchen counter, putting out bandit signs, things like that.
Old school.
Old school, and that's how I got into it. And really, like, I just went head first into it so hard that it was like, okay, I've spent basically my life savings here now. I'm not failing, right? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't care what it took. Like, I was like, these other guys can do it. I don't care if it kills me. I'm gonna make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, well, first of all, what made you choose Austin? Like, out of all the cities, why Austin?
So I had, in my previous job, I got to travel all over the country. So I've seen most of the major cities in the United States, and I was thinking about moving to San Diego, California. Okay. San Diego and Austin were the top picks, right? And remember, I only had $5,000 at the time. So I was like, you know what? San Diego's probably not the play right now. I'll have just as much fun in Austin for half the money.
Yeah.
So it was a better situation for me at the time. And Austin's been a huge blessing to me. Now I live in Miami, but we're here in my office in Austin. So Austin really helped me get my shit together. I became a millionaire here. I'll always have a special place in my heart for Austin, Texas.
God bless Texas.
God bless Texas.
So I'm from San Antonio.
Yeah.
30 minutes down south.
Right.
So I come to Austin like every week, bro. Like me and Sheiky Boy come out here, Rainy Street all the time.
I see you guys out on the lake.
Out on the Lake Travis. As a matter of fact, we're coming in like a few weeks. We're gonna have a mastermind. You should come. We're gonna invite some players, Yeah. So I love this city, man. I love the vibe. It's a whole different vibe from San Antonio, and we're right down the street. Mm-hmm. And I see it like in the next 15, 20 years being like a DFW. You know what I mean? Because both of the economies and all the cities in between are growing super fast.
It's going to be a twin city, yeah.
Yeah, like a big metro area. So, so I see that happening. So you came to Austin. You basically just packed all your stuff and just came to Austin with $5,000.
I had an air mattress, and I had literally trash bags of clothes.
Damn.
And a laptop and the cell phone charger.
And you just landed in the middle of East Austin in the hood.
Yeah.
With some trash bags of clothes.
I showed up at 3 o'clock in the morning, March 1st. It was 25 degrees outside.
Damn.
And I had to make moves quick, because you know how fast $5,000 goes in the real world.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
A month.
Right.
So that's crazy. So When you came, you already knew about wholesaling?
I didn't know anything about real estate.
Oh, you
I
didn't
knew,
know?
so when I was driving down here, because it's a long drive from Virginia to Texas, I knew I wanted to start a business. I was like, well, what can I go into in Austin, Texas? I was like, well, I can do tech, because it's a huge tech city.
Yeah.
I can do oil, because it's Texas, or real estate, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not a tech guy, and I'm not gonna create some brilliant app. Like, that's just not gonna happen. Oil, I don't know anything about oil, and I probably missed the boat on that by about 50 years, right? Yeah. And so real estate was what I narrowed it down to. And then from real estate, I didn't have any idea, did I want to be a realtor? I didn't know what I wanted to do. So that's where I started narrowing down the niche into wholesaling.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yep. So, well, talk to me, how did you get your first deal?
It was not easy, so most people, like, when we were doing this, there was not a lot of education. Like I said, I was handwriting letters, doing bandit signs, things like that. And I was getting calls and I was going on appointments, but it took me 11 months and it took me 104 appointments. This is when I was going face to face.
Wow.
104 appointments, because you got to understand, I came down here and I didn't have confidence. I didn't have any like real super good like sales acumen. So, $5,000 in 11 months is not going to cut it. So I had to go get an actual job, right? So I was looking for jobs everywhere in Austin to try to supplement, my income and make this real estate thing work. And I was getting turned down. I even tried to go to Postmates and be like, hey, can I deliver like sandwiches and stuff for you guys? And they're like, nah, like,
what?
We just don't think you got what it takes to be a sandwich delivery guy.
So what was it? It was like something inside, or what? Like,
I don't know,
confidence?
man. I was striking out everywhere I went, and then through this girl that I was dating, she was working at Oracle, and she had interviewed at Indeed but turned the job down, and she was like, yeah, I know the recruiter there if you want me to hook you up. I was like, yes, please. So I got a foot in the door at Indeed, and I had complete imposter syndrome going in there, because like everybody had years of sales experience. It was like Wolf of Wall Street walking in there, and they ended up taking a flyer on me, and they hired me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do everything that these people tell me to do, and I'm going to do my very, very best every single day and try to crush it here. That way I can get out and just be on my own. So my entire goal with going into Indeed was bust my there, build up my bankroll, take all my money and my commissions and funnel it into my real estate. So that's what I did. As soon as I started at Indeed, I went from like, almost getting evicted from my apartment to making $250,000 a year. I went President's Club, Top Gun. I was cold.
Really?
Dude, I was
cold.
It's
sales.
Sales. It's inside sales. It's like Wolf of Wall Street minus the right? And I think some people were doing it's 60 calls a day, 2 hours of talk time. High quarterly quotas, so you're banging the phones all day, locking up deals. We're talking to big companies that are spending a lot of money on Indeed advertising and selling them more advertising. So that was my job, and I did really, really well there. But the drive and the reason I did really well there is because I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to stay there.
Right.
So I took all the money that I was getting, and I didn't go spend it on like this or anything like that. I took it all and I put it into marketing, right? And then when I wasn't working at Indeed 9 to 5, I was working in real estate 6 to 2. So, I get home 5:30, grab something to eat, and then I was right on Podio making dials until I passed out at 2 a.m. Then I get my back to work at get up at 6:30, do it all over again, and then on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, completely dedicated to appointments, going face to face with sellers, things like that. And I just grinded that out for the first couple years. You
did that for years?
Yes. Yeah.
I
did that from like 2014 to like I had to stay at Indeed until like the beginning of 2017. So for like 3 years.
Like, what are the odds of finding this job, right, that's paying you $250K that directly correlates like training to wholesale? You're talking about talk time, you're talking about dialing on the phone, everything we do in wholesale, right? You're basically training to be a wholesaler, right?
To be a wholesaler, right?
What are the odds of that?
I didn't know that was what it was going to be at the time. You know what I mean? But I went in there and I was very serious about doing well there, and I just adopted it. What people don't know is Indeed's actually like one of the top 10 sales organizations in the entire country.
Really?
So like the training, how they manage their company directly correlates to what I'm doing in here.
Exactly.
Right? So.
And I'm like, well, what are the odds of that? But you know what? It's because you took a risk, right? You packed your shit. You said, I don't know, I'm going to make it happen.
Yep.
And
I was
then,
this close to getting evicted.
Exactly.
You know, I was behind on rent.
Yeah.
And I was on my last leg, and I went in there and just.
And you know what? This is one of, just like we were talking earlier, you were like, every success story has a common denominator.
Right.
This is one of them.
Adversity. Usually there's adversity.
But it always ends up like this. Like every time I hear stories like this, it's always like that. Like I was just about to give up, and then man, the opportunity came, and I didn't give up. Right?
Yeah.
Like you said, you had to go on 104 appointments.
Right.
Like who? I don't know who else would do that and keep going, like without saying like.
So here's what happened, right? So, yeah, I'm probably like on appointment like number like 76, right? You strike out 76 times, and these are houses that I drive out to. I'd spend my time and just getting no after no after no. Yeah, and I hadn't seen a check, right? All I've been doing is shelling out money. So, yeah, it got to the point where that's what's going to test, you know, your fortitude if you can make it in business, right? And so I remember leaning over on my countertop one day on my kitchen island, and I was like, man, can I keep doing this? And like I really considered like quitting and throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And then like I sat there and I thought for a minute, and I was like, yo, I didn't come this far to only come this fucking far. There's other motherfuckers that are doing this, and if I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna do this or it's gonna kill me. Like that's it. There's only two options. I'm going to succeed, or I will die. Bottom line. There was no and or. That was it. It was and or. Die, succeed.
I love it. See, and that's the common denominator, bro. You gotta burn the ships. There is no plan B.
Yep.
I'm a die or.
I was like, worst case scenario, I'll go homeless. I'll go steal cardboard from the back of HEB and make bandit signs all day. I'm gonna make this work.
So that was on what, number 76?
Yeah, that was like real deep. I was like 76 appointments in, and then I still struck out like another like 25, 30 times before I ended up getting a deal.
That's the universe testing you.
Yep.
How bad do you want it?
Yep.
I don't even know if I could have went that long. Like, dude, that's 100 appointments. Like, no. Like, hey, that's a long time, dude. Luckily, you found that good job, though.
That was that catapulted me. And then, once I got my first deal, I took all the money, I put it back into marketing, and then, deal 2, 3, and 4 came like back to back to back. Right?
Big fees?
Yeah, I mean, my first deal was $12K.
Okay.
Right? And then after that, we made like $26,000 in San Antonio. My next deals were all in San Antonio.
Oh.
So I started doing like San Antonio heavy. Right?
Okay.
And I was in San Antonio and Houston. And this was before we were doing it over the phones. So, we would have, I'd have a virtual assistant taking all the calls while I'm at Indeed, right? And lining up appointments for me on the weekends. So I would spend all my weekends either in San Antonio or in Houston. So she'd line up like 5 or 6 appointments in San Antonio one weekend. I'd come down, I'd even stay the night. I'd stay on the Riverwalk, or if I was in Houston, I'd stay in the Galleria, and I'd stay the entire weekend. I'd drive back on Sunday with a couple of contracts in my hand. Yeah. And do it again the next weekend.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with San Antonio?
Oh yeah, dude. I've done a lot of business in San Antonio.
All right.
Spent a lot of time there.
I like that, bro. See, I didn't know none of this. Okay. So, what was the moment, right, in the beginning when you just like knew you broke through? Like, did you have one of those moments like, all right, I'm here, I made it? Did you have any moments like that?
I still don't feel like I've made it.
You still don't feel like you made it?
No, I mean, I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. Like, are we doing good? Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm only 32 years old, so I have a lot more potential left in me. I feel like I'm just getting warmed up. So I still feel like that guy that was on East Riverside in Austin, that's just trying to grind it out and get his first deal.
But you didn't have a moment like, all right, man, real estate is it. I'm making it happen.
Well, no, that was the pivotal moment when I was standing there and I said, either I'm going to give up. There was no giving up. I burned my ships and I said, real estate is it. That was it.
Yeah.
And then once I started getting deals and I'm making big assignment fees and I'm making checks in my 9-to-5 business, like I was like, there's no going back. Like I'm making this shit work. So yeah, it was. I knew I was going to be successful. Probably like a year into it, I was like, and I was going to masterminds and stuff like that too. So I was spending a lot of money into my education, and I still do that to this day. So.
Okay, so it's safe to say you chose the right vocation, right?
I did, yeah. It's it fits my personality type.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same here, man. So let's see what else we got here. So you're known in the industry for PPC, right? Being really good at PPC.
Yeah.
I don't do any PPC. So like for people that are seeing this and they don't know what PPC is, can you kind of just like explain it real easily, like what it is?
Yeah, so PPC is short for pay-per-click advertising, which means that Google is the biggest search engine in the entire world, right? You can actually bid on any keyword that you want, which means if you say the word "we buy houses," you can bid on that word "we buy houses" and show up at the top of Google. And if somebody clicks on that ad, it's going to go to your website. And when they land on your website, it's usually going to be a motivated seller. What are they going to do? They're going to submit a lead. So we do that at scale. So we spend millions of dollars a year on pay-per-click advertising to be able to facilitate the business that we're doing.
Millions of dollars a year?
Not anymore. We've been able to scale it back, but yeah, for a while I was spending like 110, 120K a month on PPC because we've made some changes internally to the way that we work with our personnel. Now I only have to spend 40K. So I'm only spending, wherever 40 times 12 is.
Still a lot of damn money.
Yeah.
It's like $500,000.
$500,000, yeah.
That's a lot. And so would you say that like, because I only do cold calling and text messages and RVM, old school, right? I mean, I guess it's old school, not really. But so what is the difference between those type of leads and a PPC lead?
Yeah, they're going to be much more motivated, right? Because if somebody, think about the intent that somebody would take to find you. If you're cold calling them, you're making an outbound call. They may or may not be interested. They're probably going to say, yeah, what's your offer, right? With PPC, these people are searching terms like sell my house fast. How do I sell, how do I get rid of my house that's in foreclosure? They're searching words like that, then going to your website, filling out a form, expecting you to call them, right? So it's inbound. So the amount of leads that it takes me to get a deal are way less than telecommunications. With telecommunications, it would take me 40 to 50 leads to get a deal. With PPC, 12, 15. So my guys in there are locking up deals way faster than people that do telecommunications.
Right, because they're saying like the average deal from like a cold call or text message is like to convert, it's like 6 months or something.
Right.
And for yours, it's probably
3
like,
days.
It's
From the time a lead comes in to the time it goes under contract, on average, it's 3 days.
Golly.
So just think about that. Everybody wants to talk about what's their cost per lead, right? Who cares when nobody looks at what's your cash conversion cycle from the time you put money into the business to the time it comes back out. That's a huge metric, right? You spend money in marketing, you're waiting 90 days. Right? Easy. Just for a contract.
Easy.
Then you're waiting another 30 to 40 days for a closing.
Yeah.
So we're getting close. We're at like five months right now, right? When mine is, around 35 days. So
35 days from money in to money out.
Money in to money out. So
God,
nobody talks about the cash conversion cycle, and also nobody talks about the labor that you're paying either, because my guys only got to talk to 12 to 15 people, and your guys got to talk to 40 to 50 people to get a deal. So we're running laps around people that are doing telecommunications. Okay, that's a big nugget right there. Yeah, because like your guys got more energy. They're converting. Whereas if you got to make 50 calls, you're gonna burn out faster. And the time, dude.
And the time.
All you want to think about is how quick can I get a contract?
Yeah.
Right. Does it take me? How many man hours does it take me to get a contract? That's what I look at. Right. We're about 8 man hours per contract right now.
8 hours?
Yeah, each of these guys will usually get a contract every day. So we'll get 3 or 4 contracts a day.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. That's crazy. I didn't know those numbers.
Correct.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
How many markets are you in right now?
The United States.
The United States? You're in every single market?
Yeah, the United States.
So how do you do that? So you just basically like do keywords for the whole United States?
The whole U.S., correct.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, we do. It's all digital advertising. You know, we're getting ready to start doing radio, TV, nationally. So, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like 10 markets, something. You said the whole United States. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. As far as scaling a wholesale operation throughout the whole United States, what are some like the absolutely necessary systems that you gotta have?
Yeah, I mean, for systems, you know, the good news is a lot of it can be done for free. It's already what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
To evaluate properties, Zillow, PropStream.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're using.
Okay.
It's not like we have MLS access.
Oh, okay.
You know, in all these different regions or anything like that. We use Zillow and PropStream to evaluate the properties. On dispositions, we use the major software we use there is InvestorLift, which allows us to zoom into anywhere in the country and find what LLCs are flipping properties for. And additionally, we get the registered agent's name and their phone number. So our guys can see, you know, ABC LLC flipped 5 properties here. Here's what they bought them for. Here's what they sold them for. All right, what's this guy's contact number? My guys will call them, say, hey, you guys looking for property? They're always like, of course. And then it's a natural.
What is that?
It's called InvestorLift.
Oh, is that what the 7-figure cartel thing is, or no?
No, 7-figure cartel is the mentorship that we have. So we work with people that are already in the business, that are doing deals already, but they're looking to scale properly. Because I've screwed this business up pretty much every way you can before I got it right. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, the cheat code to go from doing maybe, you know, a couple deals, a handful of deals, to being able to do 30, 40 deals a month like we're doing, without having to go through all the BS. Because I spent years doing this business the wrong way, and I was stuck in what I call like wholesale purgatory, like, you know, a handful of deals a month, and I could never really break through it. And I spent so much money on stuff that didn't work, so much time, energy. So I know that's a big need in the marketplace. There's a lot of people that are looking to get there, but they just end up squandering so much time, energy on money on the wrong thing. So we put together the 7-figure cartel to give everybody the cheat codes to be able to get there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, like right now we're like, I'm stuck between like, I don't get more than like 15 a month. Mm-hmm. And like anywhere from like 8 to 15 is where I'm at.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, how do I see everybody else like at 20 to 30? How do I break through this?
So there's, I mean, there's usually it's just a couple tweaks. Obviously, like, you're already a successful business owner. The people that we work with are all successful business owners already. Mm-hmm. So it's just making those tweaks and then making sure that they're implementing them correctly. So not only do I lay out everything we're doing by department, like we go from marketing to acquisitions to dispositions to finance to how we manage our day to the trainings we're doing, but then we do a bi-weekly accountability call where we're jumping on Zoom and I'm saying, hey, JR, did you get your PPC set up properly this week? What was your cost per lead, right? Like, we're going in depth. Hey, what about your follow-up specialist hire? Are you know, I'm making sure that you're actually staying on track and getting to where you're trying to go as quickly as possible.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what is that, like a monthly thing, or?
Yeah, so it's you get access to all the training, all the documents that we use right away, and then the bi-weekly calls, those start usually right, you know, a week or two after you get into the to all the videos and training, and then the bi-weekly, you can do it as long as you want, and it's just, you pay monthly, and that's how it works.
Man, I've learned a lot, like sitting down with you right now. I didn't know it took you 104 appointments to get your first deal. Like, to me, that's what I like to see, because that shows like real grit, right? Yeah. Like, that shows real, like, you didn't get lucky, basically. Like, you earned this.
Correct.
And I like that type of stuff, man, because like I remember the same moments for me, man, because like I lucked into wholesaling. Like, I was a remodeler, and I worked with like investors, and I would do all their flips. So I lucked into it. They're like, dude, like, you're doing all of this work? Like, why aren't you flipping? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have, like, I thought you needed 200,000 to flip houses. They're like, dude, private money, right? And wholesaling, like, look into it. And I'm like, once I looked into it, it was a wrap. But I remember being down to my like last few bucks, right? Like my last $20 bill, like is this gonna work? Like, you know what I mean? Like a little tear rolling down, you know,
Yep.
those moments, dude. So I like, you know, being with guys like that. Like, you're at the top and you've been at that point where it was like make it or break it. You know what I mean?
99% failure rate in any new business, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a successful business and you're watching this, congratulate yourself because you're already in the 1%. Most people can't hack it. So.
And that's why we call this clutch entrepreneurs. It's only the people that make the shot when it counts. Right? Mm-hmm. That's clutch. Like when you're there and you're at number 76 and you're like, God, man, should I just go work at HEB or freaking Bill Miller's or something or the warehouse? But nah, I'm winning the game. Give me the ball. I'm taking the shot. And you made the shot.
That's right.
And that's why we're here right now.
That's right.
You know? So I respect that, man. So like you scaled a team, obviously. We're just looking at your office right now. What does your team look like?
Yeah, so we have... let's see. We have 5 acquisitions. So 3 of them are closers, and then we have 2 follow-up specialists who are going through our existing database, making sure that we're not missing calls, any missed calls that we get, facilitating a lot of the new leads to qualify them, to make sure that they're actually worth spending time on. And then we have our 3 closers, and then on dispositions we have 3 full-time disposition agents who are selling the deals all day, every day, all over the country.
And what is your acquisition agents?
And then we got Brandon. I can't forget Brandon. Brandon's the CEO of the company. So.
I like Brandon, man.
Yeah.
Me and him have some fun times.
Yeah.
So as far as the acquisitions, what are their metrics that they got to hit daily? Like your closers, how many offers they got to make, and your follow-up guys, how many follow-ups do they got to do?
Yeah, so we manage to revenue, not to dials, because I came from a place that was 60 calls a day, 2 hours of talk time. Well, you know what I would do is I'd get a couple of deals, and then I'd go out to lunch, and then I'd make a bunch of empty dials, right, just to hit a metric. So
I gotcha.
I am a sales guy. I come from sales, so I know the. So I manage to revenue. So we're looking at projected profit per week. Per rep.
So are they any salary at all?
Yeah. So everybody in the company gets a $2,000 a month base. Brandon's commission only as a CEO. Yep. And then I take a $60,000 salary. And that's it.
A $60,000 salary
from this business.
A month?
No, I have other businesses as well. But I mean, I can take distributions and got plenty of money to do what I want. Yeah.
So so they get $2,000 a month, and then does your acquisition closer and follow-up guy get different bonuses or commissions?
Yeah, everybody gets commissions. So our dispositions, they get 2.5%. And they're paid as a team. Right.
That's interesting.
Correct.
So however much volume they had for the month, they split up 2.5%.
Correct. Yeah. So each of them get 2.5% individually, but we pay as a team. So we pay a lot of money to our dispositions department because that's who makes the cash register ring. Right. So we're paying like 7.5% on dispo, and then on acquisitions we have.
7 to 7.5 on this one?
Well, 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 because we have 3 dispositions.
Right. Okay. Yep. So it adds up to what, 7?
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then they get their $2,000 a month salary, and then we have our acquisitions. They all get paid individually for performance, right? So they have their base salary, and then our acquisitions make 6%, our seniors. And then our follow-up specialists make 3%.
Yeah. 6 and 3.
6 and 3.
But they're bringing in a lot of money, so
correct.
A lot of volume because you're spending a lot on PPC.
Correct. So our labor costs are very healthy.
Yeah.
For an organization, we're at like 24% is what we run on labor.
24%. Okay. What about marketing?
Marketing, we're around 27% on marketing, and then like G&A expenses. We're a little high on that. Right now we're running like 18%.
So all in all, that's not bad at all. That's like 65% or so.
Right. So we're still at a 35, 36% net.
That's healthy.
Correct.
Super healthy.
Correct. Especially when you have a scaled out organization.
Yeah.
If you're doing this as a solopreneur, I mean, you can have like 75, 80% profit margin.
Oh yeah.
But then once you have an office, you got payroll, you got all these administrative expenses, it goes down.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you were saying that before you got that down, it was pretty high, right?
Yeah, because what I did was I went and I hired a ton of people because I thought wow, this is going great. I'll just get more leads, I'll get more people, and I'll make more money.
Right.
But what ended up happening from that experiment was I ramped up marketing, brought in people, and my profit margins tanked. I went down to like an 8% profit margin. Some months I'm losing like big money. Some months I'm like, negative 40K in the hole, right? And it was like very stressful, very unhealthy. And what I realized was you have to lay one perfect brick at a time. You can't just scale this business to where you just start saying, oh, we're just going to start adding bodies in here.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try. If somebody figures that out, let me know how you do it. But I ended up having to get rid of all my B players. So I did a deep analysis on who's actually contributing the most to the company, and the people that weren't contributing, I went ahead and terminated them. And then what happened was that allowed more opportunity for my really good people, and our revenues actually increased. So I reduced headcount and I reduced marketing, and I just had the very best people, and my everything went right back up.
Okay. So you addition by subtraction.
Addition by subtraction, yeah.
You just went down to your core, that producers.
Correct. And now as we continue to grow as a company, I always keep that in the back of my mind. I lay one perfect brick at a time. I don't just start throwing bricks to try to build the wall.
Exactly.
Because what happens then the wall's unstable, right? Lay one perfect brick at a time.
Yeah, I believe in that philosophy. That's what I do. I hire very slowly.
Yeah.
But I fire fast.
And what happens is a lot of entrepreneurs, what they want to do is they'll say, let me get one person in, and then I'm going to get another person in, and then I'm going to increase my marketing. No, get one person in, make sure that they're doing really well, pour everything you got into them, right? Make sure that they're up and running, and then they're profitable. Then bring in the next person.
Right.
And then once they're doing really well, now see where your money's at, and then increase your marketing a little bit.
Right.
You try to do all that at one time,
it's gonna collapse.
It's gonna collapse.
Yeah. No, I agree with you because I try to do it in both ways too.
You gotta have patience.
You gotta have patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and as long as you're just growing month after month or year after year, I mean, right, slowly but surely, but you got that strong foundation, I believe in that same philosophy. So to wrap this up, man, now we know you came at 23 years old, landed in Austin, Texas. You said, I ain't quitting, no matter what. I ain't quitting. You made it work. So now we're sitting here in the conference room. You're at like $250,000 every month plus. And so now what's next? What's the next venture? Yeah,
I mean, really, I'm just a vessel for what God wants me to do, and God's always pouring into me. He tells me every day, like, I got great things planned for you, and so I'm constantly trying to listen and just do what He wants me to do. So I wake up with gratitude every single morning, and I said, Lord, what will you have me do today? And right now, He's got like heavy on my heart is pouring back in to the people that are in the community. Like, I love our community, so like that's why I made the 7-figure cartel, is to pay my respect to the game, right? And pour value back into the community as much as possible. So I take that very, very seriously, and I have a great time doing it. And then additionally, the single family is great, but for long-term legacy wealth and things like that, you're not going to become a billionaire with $10,000 assignment fees. It's just not, the math doesn't work, right?
Right.
So, for me, the next evolution to where I'm going is we're doing commercial real estate right now. Like, my main job at this point, because I've scaled my way out of the business, is I'm a beginner again, right? So I'm doing commercial now, mobile home parks. We're doing value add multifamily, things like that. So now I'm a beginner again. I get to take all the lessons that I learned from building the single family business and do it in the multifamily business. So I think learning all the lessons, I'll be able to do that a lot more efficiently this time.
Yeah, the ropes. We were just talking about that. That's how we ended the last vlog with Donnie. Now we're into the next space. Now he wants to do developments. Now you want to do the multifamily.
Correct.
So it's like, that's what we're talking about. Always leveling up.
Yeah.
Leveling up.
Yep. So my goal is to maximize my potential while I'm here on this planet, and create maximum impact as possible. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm really excited. I'm more excited now and charged up about this than I've ever been, even when I started doing wholesaling. So yeah,
man. Well, we're on the same boat. We're on the same. You know, I'm sure you're trying to be the best to do it in the game, right? I remember we were talking in Dallas. You're like, man, I'm gonna be the best. I'm trying to be the best, right?
Right.
And you know, I seen you. We dominated the wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're ready to dominate multifamily.
Correct. I mean, you know, I feel like if you're gonna do something, go out there and try to be the very best you can at it. You know what I mean? For me, it's like, okay, I did great in single family, but now there's so much more potential out there. Like, I got to go after, you know, Cardone. I got to go after Trump. Like, these guys are already laid out the blueprints for me, so I should be able to get there in half the time because they've already, you know, given up the game and be able to surpass them in my lifetime. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, man, look, I'm glad that we got to do this interview, man.
Yeah.
I got to see that, you know, you started like everybody else with that, you know, you had adversity, and you made it through, you pushed through to now being like one of the top in the game at wholesaling, and to see where you're going next. So I appreciate you letting me come by, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.